It is January 29th, 2022. It's the nor'easter of 2022. This particular AccuWeather, I had taped and then I went back over it and I'm kind of weaving in and out of some of the pieces. This is the gentleman. This is the area that he is speaking of, and then just to the side, you can see this centrifuge or this rotator type movement. Now, the other, more palladium like point that the other person, again, this is both on Channel 7 ABC News. So the other one, she was speaking somewhere around here. That's where the palladium nugget was. That was swirling. This gentleman is reporting it out to sea or out towards the whatever. Again, I've been waiting a long time and humans have yet to get my story correct. So, but these are some of the details of what some of the engineers, scientists, communication, whatever works on in telling the story wrong and they keep perpetuating more things to argue over for I don't know what reasons. Looks like it's just to avoid ever having to correct anything. So, this is what this part of the weathercast was describing. Now, what I found was really interesting, since they said they were, and his name was Lee, by the way, Lee, which is interesting. My son's name is Lee. Towards the morning, or one of my sons anyway. He was named after Bailey.
Yeah, and people, that guy's kind of going
now,
fast there, but
here's,
part, people
okay, now, they said there was some, I listened to Kathy Hochul. I listened to, briefly, I also listened to, a weatherman. I have not shown his participation just yet, from Massachusetts, who said that however he knew the person at Channel 7 in wherever their location is. I have no idea. They don't announce that, or they haven't. But there is some coordination up and down the Northeast coast for this state of emergency snowstorm. I don't know if that's the reason why they're communicating or if it's just that it's blizzard conditions. Again, not clear on my end as couch potato. But I will say, where I used to live in Patchogue, it was to the south of a place called Medford. Now, Medford is being shown here, Medford and Suffolk County. I'm going to show the reporter, and then I'm going to fast forward because there was coordination that I'm not aware of because I wasn't brought into that conversation about whatever and whatever.
Been going slow on these roads. Again, the governor also,
but this is how far out I used to live.
What she wanted to not see is a repeat of what happened.
And see how this right here, this looks like, if I don't have one, but if there was a tie on a jacket, that's what this is. So I don't know if in a professional camera situation, it's a long-bodied camera. I don't know why this would happen. I don't know if this is maybe just a cell phone integrated in with some kind of special application now that everybody has like digital media. I don't know if this is the possibility that expanded upon and making things incredibly dangerous and then taking things away from the ear things of earthlings became some new chore that they've been unsuccessful to do.
happened in Washington, D.C. a little while back when it was a 30-hour car pileup. So far, so good. Hopefully no more accidents either in Suffolk or Nassau County. Reporting live in Medford in Suffolk County, Shantae Lance, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
That win, Shantae, thank you. Back to the breaking news that we've been following this
None
week.
of these faces look familiar to me, by the way.
Person in Nassau County. Police say someone was discovered dead inside of a car with the windows down in the parking lot of the Marriott Hotel in Uniondale. This is what Nassau County Executive Bruce Blakeman told us earlier this morning.
We have no hard evidence, but
I don't believe I've ever met this man. Maybe I was in a room and he was at the other end of the room. I don't really know. I don't believe I've ever met him, though. And he's Nassau County Executive. Now, hold on. Where is the... Oh.
Down here at the town.
This is interesting. This woman, never seen her before, is at something Port Washington in Nassau County. I don't know what this little doohickey means with 7. I did notice one of the other newscasts today that I taped just to check. Their jackets had a large T, like the letter T, and then the number 4 and the number 7. I have no idea what that's tied into. I don't know who runs that. I don't know who's in charge of that. I don't know how that came about. I can't read that. I don't know what that means either. I can't see it on the teleportation device. So I don't know who's running that, whatever, however it works. I will say one of them, doesn't matter which one for my purpose, had on a representative that made mention there's only 2 cities. He called it trivia. TRIVA. And he said there's only 2 cities in all of Long Island. I'm like, what? No, there's not. But that's his lie, I guess, that he told on television today. For whatever reason. I don't really know. But I listened to his answers and I'm like, I don't even know why they chose those 2 cities to be the only 2 cities represented on Long Island. Interesting.
Town dock in Port Washington, Nassau County, because we wanted you to get a look at the water and the wind blowing around. There have been lulls throughout the morning. I would say the wind has definitely picked up in about the past hour or so. You can really notice it. Check out this video we took a short time ago. Visibility.
So that's what Port Washington looks like in my area. Then if I fast forward,
moving things,
looking at the meteorologists that were able to coordinate in some method.
you gotta stop.
Hold on, not he. He's not part of the whatever. Oh, interesting. This woman's name is Stacy Sager. I think Lynn Lackner married a Sager. I don't really keep in touch with her, so I don't really know. But I think his name was Chuck. He owns a motorcycle shop. Again, I don't really stay real friendly with too many people. I don't really trust them, but he was a nice guy. I mean, he married Lynn. They had 3 kids. Whatever.
hard, but
Oh, this part's interesting and important. I met Lynn in St. Dominic's.
we're live in Port Washington with sideways snow. I'm Stacy Sager, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
It's great to see that water behind you. What a different shot there. Thank you so much, Stacy. The city also being hit hard by the snow.
Now, Queens, this word, it's where the hospital Linda gave birth to me on, was on the side of Nassau where Oyster Bay was, for oysters and pearls. And then the eye of the fish, the pearl eye, is in Queens, which is where my feet are standing at the moment, and where my carcass or my baby meat suit was bundled up and brought into in order to meet my grandparents.
It is piling up in Queens. Marcus Solis live in Bayside. Look at conditions there. Hi, Marcus.
And look where...
Good morning, Michelle. Well, we've had the cold and the wind. That's been a constant throughout, but the snowfall rate is actually...
Out of all of the towns in Queens they could have chosen, they chose mine. So thank you. I greatly appreciate the two-way kind of sort of with an interrupter or disruptor in between, since teleportation is some form of new way of communicating that not all of it's caught on with how to explain it to one another.
Yeah, and people, that guy's kind of going fast there, but for the most part, people have been going slow on these roads.
How did
Again,
the TV just jumps back to the beginning? I didn't push a button. Oh, this is so frustrating.
the governor...
There it is. It says Bayside, Queens. And that's where this gentleman was
and then
coming out of.
Plow was coming down, the city plow was coming down.
Which is the same area where I have the snow. And you can see the snow. And let me see if I can get the other coordinated efforts. Hang on. Now, they showed Mayor Adams in a much more professional, with like the entourage of paparazzi following him. And he was dressed in a Department of Sanitation, like I think it's DSNY, like official jacket, or later in the broadcast. But early in the broadcast, around the 9 a.m., they had this just, again, by himself, more of like the style that I've been
hitting that car,
using.
Made it difficult for that plow operator to get around him, and that's exactly the situation the city is trying to avoid with its nearly 2,000 crews out there across the city. Mayor Adams said he would be out and about today looking at various areas of the city, how the Department of Sanitation has responded, and he was in the Bronx earlier this morning.
Yes, up in the Bronx on Tiffany Street. The roads are slippery out here today. And so be careful. Department of Sanitation did a pass-through. People are out early. But the best to be off the road, so let DSNY do their job as they clean the streets.
The mayor ending that by saying it's a good day to stay in. Coming up the rat.
So hang on, let me go fast forward, find more coordinated broadcasts today. Hang on. This is how one portion labeled it. Ready? AccuWeather snow alert, and then it says...
News this morning. The tragic and deadly fire in the Bronx is a stark reminder. In a fire, close the door. Open doors allow fire and smoke to spread out of control. For more, please join us tonight at 7 for Operation 7 Save a Life. 24 years of fire safety from Channel 7.
It has calmed down, but it is still snowing. I'll show you what it looks
think
like over here
he's
on
from Jersey.
Route 36, this main road here through
Yeah.
Hazlet. You can
New
see that
Jersey.
it is snow-packed, and so the plows have been making their way through this area, so you can sort of see a little bit of blacktop. But yeah, still icy and slick. We did shoot some video we can show you now a short time ago, showing many of those plows making their way up and down this main road, and they have been very busy today. But like we mentioned, the roads are still very treacherous. We've had a lot of snow, and it's still snowing. We've also had high wind gusts up to 50 miles an hour, so that is certainly a concern. This morning, I did speak with a plow driver about what he said the conditions were like. Listen to this.
The conditions are very bad, very icy. We can't even get down to asphalt. I've been plowing since 5 o'clock yesterday afternoon.
Is that because of the wind?
Yes. Yes, and the temperature. What happened in this area, we had 45 minutes of rain, and then it flipped over to snow.
Now notice he's using Arctic. I know in the area over here I've reported they have some orange whatever. I don't know what those changeovers are. And some, like the city, it showed, and some of the counties are still using CAT equipment, CAT for Caterpillar. But I don't know why the changeover. There's a Bucket X truck that goes. I don't know who Jersey's buying from in supply chain that might be changing the message and like the coordinated effort and working together in a 13 colony like brotherhood.
And so take a look at his plow. This is a 16-foot plow that's on top of another plow that some damage there. So that is what it's looking like here in New Jersey. It is still snowing sideways, and in 30 minutes I have another prop to show you. We might show you what the snow totals look like over here, a little unofficial science experiment.
That is the most interesting eyewear. I don't know what message he could be trying to portray with clear, almost medical looking goggles. That's what we wear inside the medical laboratory. Why would one wear that for a snowstorm and reporting? I don't know. Now, how does one meet in like a personalized story? Here's how Massachusetts and what I'm assuming is New York, or just meteorology in general, how they met.
Wow. You'll love the deals. You'll love Burlington.
Wow.
And welcome back to Eyewitness News on this Saturday morning as we continue to track this incredible nor'easter, which will be historic for other parts of the Northeast like southeastern New England. We're going to get tremendous totals that could approach 20 inches in eastern Long Island, but we could be talking about 2 to 3 feet in eastern Massachusetts. It was the blizzard of '78 that inspired my career to become a meteorologist. But then as a freshman at Cornell studying meteorology, I was told about this other great meteorologist who was studying weather there. Rob Marciano, right in the thick of things in my hometown with his goggles
Into the thick of it. Into the thick of it. That's Backyardigans song.
Knock it off, Lee. I remember the day we met in the map room up there, 11th floor of Bradfield Hall. It was a pleasure to meet you then, and boy, it's a thrill to be working with you now. I heard you describe this forecast as a root canal, because we had so many ingredients that needed to come together for New York really to be a big player, which it has been. Speaking of root canal, the left side of my cheek, my mouth, completely numb, because that's where the wind is blowing. We've got a wind chill of about 3 degrees right now. There's a New England aquarium. We've got blizzard conditions, especially down to the south. Some power outages already in eastern Mass and Cape Cod, with winds in some spots already blowing to hurricane force. So we're just getting started here. I know things are going to start to wind down in the New York area, but 12 to 24 inches, certainly more than that, not out of the question. This is going to be easily, I think, a top 10 storm in Boston history. 1978, that was a blizzard that inspired me as well.
1978. 2 different mentions. Yay!
And they're getting something not quite there, but very similar, and it's going to be a rock and roll kind of day this Saturday. Lee, back to you.
Great to work with you too, Rob. That's good stuff. Go to the seaport, have some chatter, and get warm. All right, we're back down here. We're looking at some new snow totals. Croton on Hudson.
So that was Boston's helpful heart of a hero in action. Hang on. Now, the man just did the weather, and then all of a sudden jumps in again, doing whatever this is. Don't know why, but it goes into something else that's important.
And look at Thursday, 52 degrees, and we'll see a chance for showers Thursday into Friday. Michelle?
Oh, my goodness. As we get through this, thinking of Thursday. Thank you, Brittany. Coming up, a busy morning for sure for New York sanitation workers.
You will not see blacktop today. Not for a while, but then you will. So just have faith. We're coming. We'll be there.
Coming up, Commissioner Edward Grayson joining us live to discuss the conditions on the roads. You will not see blacktop across the 5 boroughs. Stick around.
So that was the message direct from the Commissioner of Sanitation, which I don't get to see regularly on the television or the teleportation device. But I did see him across, I believe, the channels as I went channel surfing today, just to look for some form of consistency. Now again, I could read this many different ways, but I'm not at the moment. I'm just going to press play and let Hearts of Heroes. I'm just going to be resilient. That's it.
Tracking really tough, treacherous conditions on the roads here in New York City.
Joining us on the phone right now, Department of Sanitation Commissioner Edward Grayson. Commissioner, I know you're super busy this morning, so we appreciate the time.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So we just played a clip of your video warning people today. The goal is to get the roads passable, and we likely will not see blacktop in the city. We've already seen some of your crews passing by on the Upper West Side, but we know the challenge is also in the boroughs. I'm curious, what level of a challenge is it to navigate around these outdoor dining structures when we're talking about significant snowfall that we're experiencing right now?
Thankfully, we incorporate the outdoor dining structures as part of our training program preseason and through the first couple of events. Right now, we haven't had too much of an obstacle with them, and we really need people to heed that travel, advisory. If they can minimize their footprint, it gives us a better chance to get through these routes that host the outdoor dining structures. But the main concern today, right now, in the thick of the storm, is these winds with the continual snowfall. Visibility is very low, so we're just going to be very slow and very methodical today.
Any advice for folks out there listening? We've seen so many people trying to clear sidewalks, clear around cars, putting all the snow right back where you just moved it off of the streets.
I don't know where in the city this is. It just says New York City.
Please weigh in on that.
Well, first off, thank you. It was good to be out with the crews as we changed over in the morning. But yeah, if you could avoid
this, however, I'll make the call. This is Bayside. So the New York City sanitation, while he's still working, this is at the corner by the gas station in Bayside, Queens.
Putting your snow back in the street, we greatly appreciate it. Additionally to that, we're out there doing our best to try to keep the bike lanes, as passable as they can. So anybody who's also shoveling their sidewalk, please don't shovel it back into the bike lanes. But the big thing today is if you're going out to shovel.
Are people walking in the bike lanes? I mean, who's really riding a bike in this weather? I mean, I guess in an emergency situation. It's just an interesting thought.
It's brutally cold. The winds are there. We want all New Yorkers to be safe. Be careful. Don't pile snow if you're shoveling in front of the hydrant. We want to keep those clear. And don't block the catch basins. And if you could find that, a person on your block who may be a little mobility impaired or maybe elderly, needs a little hand, let's look out for one another. If you can, see where the shoveling needs to be done and then shovel smart.
Great to hear from you. Thank you so much, Commissioner Grayson. Thank you for the hard work.
Ooh, careful. That's the kind of message I don't hear on a day-to-day basis. But then again, there's not some major catastrophe to come around in the couch potato line of work that it's not really a job, it's not really work, it's not really anything to be proud of. It's just when you're shut out and you don't know why, it's all you got left.
And please pass on our good word, to your crews.
Yep.
Thank you so much. Be
safe.
safe.
Thank you, sir. You too.
To be safe. We appreciate it. As we continue on Eyewitness News, our team continues to track the storm here on TV and online, ABC7NY.
They got this new commercial on. It's called Dave's Killer Bread.
Mom, can I have some killer bread? I'm hungry.
Stop. Not even funny.
Is an invasion imminent Sunday on ABC's This Week with George.
Killer taste, killer nutrition, always organic. Dave's Killer Bread, bread amplified.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mary Bassett. COVID-19 cases are surging because of the highly contagious Omicron variant. Now is the time to get a COVID-19 vaccine, or if you're eligible, a booster.
And there's where all the killer bread is made and spent. Right here. This part's confusing, because if I listen to it, I think it is the governor of New Jersey, who I only noticed because they mentioned him. He sounded like he was very nasally the other day, like he was getting over a cold. So I'm not sure if that's what because they don't have a banner stating who he is, but I think that's who he is. He made it. They also are not showing a photo of him. And what did the evil children of everywhere who said that they needed digital enhancements to make better broadcast and journalism awards? I mean, I don't really see. I see a lot, but whatever.
The Ice Age Adventures
Now
of
watch
Wild, now
this.
streaming only on Disney Plus. Rated P.
This is the new Ice Age. It's called Buck Wild. BUCKWILD. Talk about thematic of service between the Northeaster, the announcement of some new Ice Age movie, ICEAGE, and what are the evil ear things up to on telling, taking responsibility, trying to avoid whatever. It's like spinsters everywhere. There is a book that one of the humans wrote. It's called Tale of Two Cities. I only know the title of it. It actually ties in, I don't know how, something one of the humans mentioned about his trivia that he announced on television today. I'm going to pause this, see if I can pull that up to tie that into this video. Now this human is wearing ski goggles, SKIGOOGLES, which is interesting. He's apparently, I wonder what message but you can't see through them. I wonder what message he's trying to send. This is News 4. And he's the gentleman that knows that there's two cities. But I don't know how the book ties in with the Tale of Two Cities, because there's also Gatsby and East and West Egg. So I don't want the silly humans who've gotten the past two wars wrong and their stories and their anger and like the actual correction wrong. I really don't. It's one bloodline that I know of that's out of coordination. Why are we 43 years into my journey, 70 something in Lynn's? Why is it still out of alignment with no successful anything? The world is not performing better.
Participating in what the mayor said to everybody out here is to stay off the roads. People are just walking around, but nobody on the roads this morning.
Well, that's a good thing, Miles, and we don't want that. That's what we've been asking people to do all morning. Glad to see at least out there. Jersey's a different story. We appreciate that, and thank you for the trivia. I learn something new every day. All righty. See you in a little bit, Miles. Thank you. Well, as Miles said, it is beautiful, but it's also pretty treacherous. We're going to go to Andrew Siff. He's out in Queens, where they have already warned folks out there they're not going to see any blacktop there for hours.
That's interesting, because I pressed record on the DVR button with Verizon Fios at a very specific interval where it should have caught him saying the two names. But once I go to retrieve it from the DVR, now all of a sudden the information's clipped and it's no longer. But you do hear her say, thanks for the information on the two cities. And then it shows who the receiving person was. It's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza. It is Earth, Solar System, Milky Way, Universe, Galaxies Broken. It's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361.